Hi, I'm Marky.
And I'm Andrew.
And this is the Happy Everly After podcast. Hello.
Hello, friends.
Hello, friends. Hello, and welcome.
What's up, gang?
You open it
Hey,
with
gang,
the
gang.
podcast that you
Yeet.
listen to, and I open it with the podcast that I listen to a lot.
My favorite murder.
Exactly. They're so good.
Copyright infringement. We're going to get sued now.
Let's talk about our outfits. If you're not watching on YouTube, then you can't see our outfits. Drew is wearing like literally a Hawaiian shirt. Like it has
Miami Vice. I'm trying
palm
to
trees
invite
on it.
the summertime vibes for you guys.
Ugh, I know, and I'm just cold as balls all the time. And
This
I'm
is
wearing a sweater.
Target special.
How much was it?
No idea.
Like $29.99.
Don't you know I'm balling enough not to look at price tags anymore?
Okay.
Come on now.
Yeah, right. It does not matter how much money you have in your bank account. Like, you still look at the price tag. Like, you still care. You still want a good deal.
Me personally or people in general?
You.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unless
Who
it's
doesn't like
shoes.
a good deal?
Unless it's shoes, like, he cares about money. Like, I'm doing I'm trying to
doesn't like a
catch
good
up
deal?
on the challenge right now, and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna pay, like, I'm gonna do a free trial of my Paramount Plus. And he's like, okay, but like, make sure you cancel it once your free
Whoa.
trial is done.
Should we name off all the subscriptions that we have?
Sorry, I watch a lot of shows that are on
Should
different
we?
networks.
Should we do it?
Go for it. Try.
Hulu,
Uh-huh.
Netflix,
Yep.
HBO,
Yeah.
Peacock,
Yeah.
Amazon.
Do you want me to name off shows that I watch on all of those different things?
What else? Apple TV. Now Paramount Plus.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's some that I'm missing. That's at least 7.
You guys should know that I
That's a
always have
lot
an
of streaming.
AirPod in my ear, and like, I don't necessarily watch a lot of shows, but I listen to a lot of shows. So, yeah, I like that.
It's expensive.
I know it
It
does
adds
add up
up.
for sure.
It
I
adds up.
honestly, I don't need a couple of those.
Cool. Let's delete them.
Cool.
Cancel culture. Cancel subscriptions culture.
So, anyways, if you can't see us, I'm wearing a sweater and have a space heater next to me that I just turned off because Drew says it's too loud for the podcast. And Drew was in his palm tree shirt.
I need a gold chain and some chest hairs.
And a grill.
Yeah, I used to wear grills in high school.
Stop.
Yeah. I wanted to be a wangster so bad in high school.
I don't get
like,
it.
legitimately bought like a fake grill that had like fake jewels and stuff, a top and a bottom. Asked my friends.
Who did I marry?
Legit.
Who
It was
is this
awesome.
guy?
If I could find it, I would totally wear it.
You know what?
Still to this
I wouldn't
day.
put it past your parents to like have that stored somewhere.
It was in the Bad Astro. I would keep it. It was up in like the...
Now you have to tell them what the Bad Astro was.
That was the Astro van that I drove post high school. Not during high school, post high school.
And he
And
called it the Bad
awesome.
Astro.
It was awesome. If
And
you
they
didn't
would, like-
experience the
They
Bad
would like
Astro,
take it on
sorry.
jumps and stuff.
Oh.
I'm picturing like Dumb and Dumber, like the dog at the very beginning, the
Way cooler than that.
van that's dressed like it's a sheepdog.
Yeah.
What is it called?
Yeah. In Dumb and Dumber?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a dog.
And they like, and it's like going off of jumps and stuff, and the
Oh.
dogs are like whining in the background.
We had some really good times in the Bad Astro. That was a fun time in life for sure.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Used to keep the grill in like the sunglasses where like you store your sunglasses.
Could you talk with them?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, like a retainer.
Did you have a
It's
list?
like a retainer kind of. And I would just wear it when we were like driving around, like messing around,
How much was
listening
it?
to Grills by Nelly.
And Pow Wow. How much
And we
was it?
listened to Young Jock and all
It's
things.
going down.
Yep.
How much was it?
Like no more than like $20 is like
That is so funny.
I was like, yeah, it's like it's not like I'm spending.
I know that you had fun in your day when you were like a teenager, but I would have never guessed that you had a $15 grill that you put on your teeth when you hung out with your friends.
I loved it. It's awesome.
The things we freaking do when we're teenagers.
I would do it today.
Right.
Bet.
How much?
I would
You would
do
just
it.
wear it?
A fake grill
Yeah, in front of who?
while
To
I
be
was driving
serious?
around to be freaking awesome.
Right. I mean, that's hard to do.
That's all I did with it back in the day.
Yeah, I guess. That's funny.
That was a good time.
Well, hi, and welcome to the Happy Everly After podcast. This is the podcast where we talk about being happy and sad at the same time, but mainly happy because we're happy people. We've just been through a lot of hard things.
And grills.
And grills. And, well, I was going to say braces, but I had braces. You didn't have braces.
Never had braces. Always wanted braces.
But your teeth are so straight.
Because I was not really.
They're not crooked. Do you get food
I could
stuck
use
in your
braces.
teeth?
I could use Invisalign.
Invisalign, will you sponsor us? That'd be great because I need it too. I had braces, but my teeth are starting to move, and I'm getting like food stuck in my teeth after every single meal, and it's driving me nuts. And that's just been in the last like year.
Yeah.
So dumb.
I don't feel like I get food stuck in my teeth, but my bottom teeth are crooked AF.
Yeah, but when you smile, you can't really see your bottom teeth.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah. Anyways, what are we talking about today?
We're talking about grills and crooked
The
smiles.
Bad Astro.
J. Cole, Crooked Smiles.
Yeah.
It's a good song.
Yeah, it is.
It's a good song. We're talking about Urban when he was a young lad. When he was just a baby.
Urban.
And
Baby Urban.
all of his early intervention and the help that we got him, and we were looking
entailed.
back on old videos, and I miss Baby Urban. It was a hard time in life, but I also miss it because he's freaking old now. He's like
old.
losing
He's an
teeth
adult.
and talking back to us and like Mr. Know-It-All.
Ugh, he knows everything.
If you ever want to know an answer to a question,
Ask Urban. He knows.
he will give it to you.
And then after he tells
Full
you the answer, he'll
confidence.
say, "That's what I say."
Full confidence.
Like
He's
like
never
it's his
lacked-
job.
Never lacked confidence.
Never. He has never a day lacked confidence. That is true. Which is
Yeah,
great. Like,
he's
I
funny.
kind of love that about him.
For sure. For sure.
So, I mean, to explain a little bit about like why this is even an episode, it's because Urban had to do a lot of early intervention. And the reason for that is because at a very, very young age, we noticed some things in him that were a little bit concerning as like parents and like neighbors and friends that kind of like noticed things about him that were like, that's not perfectly, like, I don't even like the word normal because like normal is dumb. Like, that's not, when I say normal, I don't mean like, oh, he's just a normal kid. He was not normal. Like, he was not on track with his friends and peers around him. He
wasn't hitting milestones.
He wasn't hitting milestones. And even then, it's like every kid is on their own like timeline, but like Urban he's just always been a little different. And I think that
Not
sounds
in a
terrible. Like
bad
you
way,
laugh,
though.
but it's like true. It's like he has been different from like his peers that are his age. And I think that a lot of parents have this thing where it's like, oh no, my kid is perfect. And I think it's so easy to like kind of be in denial about maybe like some red flags or some like learning disabilities or speech delays or whatever it may be. But I think that me especially, like I will be the first to admit that I was struggling. Like I was drowning in like trying to raise him, and we just saw some things from very early on where we were like a little concerned. Like we're like, does he need extra help in these certain areas?
Okay, so start from the beginning because there's probably a lot of people that hopped on like post Everly,
It's true.
and
For
Urban was
sure.
already a year and a half old when everything with Everly happened. So probably a lot of people outside of like close friends and family
They
don't
would never even
know
know.
what was going on with Urban.
And people
And
tell
now
me
they see
that.
him today and they're like what?
They're
No.
like, no way.
Like he's just a normal, I mean, like you said, like
Normal. Yeah.
he's like up to pace with all of
His
his,
peers.
yeah. And he's awesome.
So
Love
I
that
guess
kid.
we'll start by saying that I barfed my entire pregnancy. Okay, now let's get that out of my way. It's fine. Okay, so then he was born. He didn't cry for like 2 weeks. And then after 2 weeks, after our friends and family went home and it was just me and the newborn, he started screaming. Screaming.
Well, you should start like he was a pretty long labor
Yeah.
compared to what our other. Well, I mean, Everly and Van were like scheduled C-sections, but like we were
Yeah.
in the hospital for like
Over 30
30
hours. So
with
my
Urban.
body was on Pitocin for 30 hours.
This
And
was in
I was
Ohio.
not dilating. And then finally after like 30 hours, after like
2 epidurals,
2 epidurals,
which I had to step
his
out of the
heart-
room for.
Drew is a passer outer. It's fine. He needs to leave whenever he sees a needle.
Well, it's just like anything medical. It's just like, nah. That's a different episode.
Right. Yeah, like his heart rate started fluctuating and I wasn't dilating at all. And again, I'd been on Pitocin for over 24 freaking hours. I was on Pitocin for 30 hours, you guys. A full day and some change. And my uterus was not opening. Like it's a joke, seriously. And so his heart rate started fluctuating. It got kind of scary there for a minute, and then it ended up being an emergency C-section.
Which we were
And
cool with.
I was cool with. I'm like, take this baby out of me. Like something's not right. Like I get it. Like take him out of me. I know
After
you're trying
that
to get me a
long, we were
vaginal
just
birth.
like, just come on.
Just do it.
Let's just get this party started.
I remember the doctor coming in and being like, with his heart rate, blah, 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 we're thinking it's going to be a C-section. I was like, Kate, give me the freaking paperwork to sign. Like, let's go. Like, I'm freaking tired.
Modern medicine is pretty cool.
Yeah. So anyways, everything, it was fine. I just don't,
He was a pretty colicky baby.
yeah. Well, I was going to say, I just don't, dilate. Like it's just my my uterus, I guess.
After Urban, he didn't really try.
Well, yeah.
So
There was no reason to.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Everly had complications. Yeah, sure.
So Urban, so he was perfectly healthy. He wasn't NICU'd or anything, thank goodness. He was like what 7, 11 or something like that.
Yeah, pretty close to 8 pounds. I want to say, like healthy baby.
Healthy baby. And then
Cute as a button.
He was so cute. He was so cute.
Everyone said that too. Oh my gosh, he's so cute. Which everyone says that about
Everyone
babies.
says that about babies, but some babies look like freaking aliens.
Yeah, for sure.
Urban was cute. Like, he was so cute.
Still is.
I always make jokes. I'm like, Heavenly Father had to make you cute so that I could put up with you more. So yeah, extremely colicky. It turns out he was a wee bit allergic to my breast milk. And so after like 5 months, maybe, it was actually my family that was like, something's up. Like, he's in pain. He's screaming a lot. Like, you should just try a sensitive tummy like formula and see how he does with it. And literally he like stopped screaming. Like, after that bottle.
He did better for sure, yeah. Yeah. Slept better.
Just didn't have a tummy ache. Didn't have as much gassy bubbles in his belly. I have videos of him just screaming and me just like, I literally like propped up my phone and like videotaped me trying to like parent him and try to soothe him. And he just screamed and screamed. It was so hard.
Yeah. As a first baby, you're like, whoa. Is this what we sign up for?
Yeah, for reals. So point of the story is, as he got older, like, let's just say a couple things that he like did or didn't do. Number one, like, he was really good at making eye contact with us, for sure. Yeah. Number two, he started crawling and walking really early. He was like literally wiggling across the floor at like 4 months old. He was pure crawling at 5 months old. And he started walking with a little push walker toy at 7 months old. So he was coordinated, like strong. He was like doing pull-ups on our kitchen island, just like a tiny little baby in a diaper, just like doing like chin-ups, like, ooh, like trying to look up on the counter. Like, it was the craziest thing. I'm like, you are a crazy baby. Like, crazy.
He's pretty buff. Like,
he's
even
always
even
been
now,
ripped.
like,
yeah.
Dang, bro.
He's always been so ripped.
Where'd you get those genetics, and how do I get some of those?
Probably from me and my family.
Probably true.
Yeah. Another thing is, so he would make eye contact, but he wasn't really talking. He was very, very speech delayed. And he wasn't really motivated to talk either. He didn't care.
Well, it's not like he wasn't. He would talk. It was just in his own language.
Yes. And we'll talk about that too
gibberish
in a minute. So I started thinking like something's up. Like, he would like walk on his tippy toes, just like not weird things, but like all of the different things that he would do put together. We were like, "Okay, does he need some extra help? Like,
his temper tantrums were next level." That's
and then his temper tantrums. So
the thing that pushed it over the edge.
Oh, and he was a sprinter. He did not care where mom and dad were. He sprinted away with whatever he saw if he wanted it. If it was a mile away and he saw it on the street 5 minutes ago, he was going to book it and sprint to get to that thing that he wanted. Like, he was determined, one-track minded. And I say all the time that I relied on strangers to help me keep him alive every single day, because he would just sprint away from me. Like, zero motivation. Mom, hold me. Like, no, zero. He did not care what mom and dad were doing.
Yeah.
He was sprinting in the direction that he wanted to go.
Yeah.
And that gets exhausting, you guys. He would like fight you. Like, I would literally carry him over my shoulder to the car and him just kicking and screaming because he wanted to get down and run away.
It was hard to take him places like dinner. Like, if we wanted to go out to dinner with friends, like, that was a nightmare.
We missed like wedding receptions. We missed big dinners and events.
Any traveling, like vacations and stuff.
Too hard to
We tried to
control
take him to Disneyland.
Yeah, don't even get started.
We were
Disney
selling
World.
Disney World. We were selling in Florida for part of a summer, And your idea was to take him to
I was like,
Disney
we're
World.
40 minutes away from Disney World. We're going to go. Like, we have to go to Disney World.
He was like maybe 18 months,
And
19 months old at that time. Maybe 20 months.
no,
20 months tops.
no,
Because
because
he was probably in like April
that's
of.
how old he was when Everly was born.
Okay, maybe. No, yeah. Yeah, maybe like 22, 21, 22 months old. Because it was in like April of that year. And his
Yeah.
birthday's in June.
Yeah.
But yeah, we did it for like 2 hours.
Yeah, it
and an
was
hour
so
of that
bad.
was like
So
getting food.
when you take your kid to Disney World and you just are so excited to see like the magic in their eyes, like, oh, I'm just looking at all these fun rides, like this Dumbo ride, like, and he just screamed the entire time. And you want to know why he screamed? He screamed because he wanted the jazzy scooter that like handicapped people were sitting on.
Or to
Legit.
throw rocks in the pond. Like that's
Or
what he
wanted
really
to
wanted to
throw
throw
rocks
rocks
in
in
the
the pond. Yeah.
And that's fine. Toddler, like, we get it. You don't understand Disney World yet, but like, it was like a battle. And him sitting
Lines.
on like a Dumbo ride to like go on this like toddler ride that should be so fun, he was screaming because he was buckled in and he wanted to be sprinting yonder, going somewhere else.
He's a free spirit.
Free spirit is right.
He's a peacock. Let him fly.
So we saw speech issues, behavioral issues, and then like cognitive and occupational. So those are like the 4 things that we got him therapy for. So basically, I would tell friends and family like something is up. People online would be like, it was 2 different ways. They'd be like, oh, he's just a boy and he's busy. Or they'd say, your child is autistic and you have got to get him into therapy. Like literally it was one or the other. It was never down the middle. And when people would say like, oh, he's fine, he'll grow out of all these things, I was sitting there being like, okay, well, is this just motherhood? Because if this is motherhood, then like I quit. Like I'm going to like check myself in somewhere because like I cannot do this. I cried so many tears over trying to help him and him just being freaking everywhere. I always tell the story about how he pushed over a stroller with a baby in it once. Thank goodness the baby was strapped in and the baby was okay. But that is a true story. He would throw chairs out the back door. He would overturn tables. Like he was Hulk smashing his way through
He did
his
a lot
tantrums.
of headbutting.
He did a ton of headbutting.
So he would headbutt the wall,
or
brick
the ground,
walls, cement grounds.
concrete ground, you guys, and he would just headbutt his head as hard as he could.
If he was mad, yeah.
Something was up. We knew something was up, and so I started doing research, and I heard about early intervention. So I called the state, and they said, you know, what district are you in, blah, blah, blah. And I know that every single state has these resources. So if some of these stories, like if you feel like you can relate to them with your little one, like reach out for help because there are free resources out there that can help you.
And it was a game changer for him.
Oh my gosh.
It helped a lot with him and with us.
So basically a person came over and evaluated him, and that person like sat down on the floor at your own home, like at our home. They'll sit down in your home
where he was comfortable,
where he's comfortable, and they try to do like just little games and tests with him, like, can you stack these blocks, can you, what's this, a puppy, like just different tests. And he failed at all of them. He failed. He was just Hulk smashing his way through all the toys. He didn't want them. He just wanted to do his own thing. And I remember like being so sick to my stomach and so like almost embarrassed because I'm like, I cannot raise this human being. Like he's too much for me. And I remember telling that person like, we need help. Like we need help. And anyways, that person who did his like early intervention test, she's the one that determined like he qualifies for this, and this. And then those were like different therapists that would either come to our house or we would go to like a therapy session to like have him be with kids that
A
are
classroom
similar to
setting.
him. Yeah. And so not only did we do that for those couple of things that the therapist recommended, but we also paid a zillion cajillion dollars on a place called Brain Balance,
Yeah.
and that helped a lot
Oh, I
too.
remember doing some weird
Weird, but they
like
worked.
exercises with him, like spin him in a circle in this direction like
Six
10
times,
times
yeah.
and then like tickle his arm on this side of his
Yeah.
arm like,
Because they would
and
like
then like it was like a bunch of
they would
very interesting
evaluate
things.
him down to the very tiniest pathway in his brain that they were like, this is the study, the research we've
Maybe
done.
something's not activating
Something's
or
not
like,
activating here. We need to activate the left side of his brain. We're going to do that by poking his arm right
it
there. Like
was
it
very
was
interesting.
crazy. But like, okay, here's an exercise is he never wanted to wear clothes. So like, I know boys like they come home and they want to be in their diaper or underwear, like that's normal, but he hated wearing clothes. And so one of the things that we had to do was a starfish. So he would lay on the ground on the carpet and we would have to move his legs like a starfish or like a snow angel.
Yeah.
And he would feel that feeling of the carpet or rug on his back, and that would help him with those areas that he struggled with, like feeling a tag on his shirt or like whatever. So
Yeah.
that was Brain Balance, and that helped a lot too.
Yeah.
Um,
And he was in some early like preschools. He's been doing preschool since he was like,
two.
yeah, like half day, like 2 days a week, take the bus,
Yeah.
go to preschool.
And
Which
so
his preschool and like school teachers up to this point have been awesome.
so awesome. Like they
They've
know what
helped a
they're
ton.
doing. Like that's what they went to school for. They literally and I think that there's some stigma like, oh, I don't want to admit that my child like needs extra help, but really like you're only doing yourself and your child a disservice if you don't seek help. Like it costs absolutely nothing to get your child evaluated. Even with Van, who's like a tiny bit speech delayed, we're like not worried about him. He's nowhere on the same levels as Urban when Urban was his age. But with our 3-year-old Van, we literally got him evaluated just to get him evaluated. Just
Yeah.
to like see, like, oh, this area needs a little
He
bit more
did
focus.
qualify
Sounds
too
great.
for
And yeah, he didn't qualify
some
for
speech
like
therapy.
the preschool program, but he did qualify for some speech therapy. And like, that's only making his life easier and our life easier. And so, point of the story is that all happened when in his early years, and he's basically been getting watched and evaluated. He's had an IEP, and if you don't know what an IEP is, it stands for Individual Education Plan.
Yeah.
And that's just where the state, essentially, or the district, I should say, follows him and has like specific goals to where they want to help him reach those goals.
But yeah, he's got like some tutors at school, some speech therapists at school. Like
Yeah.
he gets a little extra help outside of like the classroom setting to like get him up to speed.
Yep.
Because he's yeah, and he's like
He's doing so
pretty.
good.
If you would have known him at like 2 and known him like now, you'd be like, wow.
Which, like,
Who
so
is this kid?
it's just like you can say that about any 2-year-old to a 6-year-old. It's like, oh, like, he's a different kid, duh. But, like, we know for a fact, like, we have watched him flourish and blossom and have that extra help for him to where he can feel confident and feel. And another thing that's really important to me that I love is he was surrounded by kids that had all different types of needs. So every single type of kid with all different types of needs he was around. And I feel like that helped him so much, like personally, like with his friendships and like things like that. And sometimes that's what's important. Sometimes it's not all about like the math problem. And sometimes it's more about being a good human and being exposed to people that are different from you. And I feel like he's done so good with that. And I'm just so proud of him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's awesome.
He's seriously like the coolest kid. And if you follow, like the page that I post on a lot is Meet Everly Joe. If you follow that page, like there are people who have been around for years and years that are just like, I cannot believe how far he's come. I'm so proud of him. Like he's just so
Grown up.
grown up. He's a grown up.
He's losing teeth now.
Yeah. But
That's
quite
crazy.
literally, like if you're in that whirlwind of like knowing something's up and just being like, is this motherhood? Like, am I doing it right?
Gotta trust your parental instincts.
You do have to trust your parental instincts, but also like put your pride aside, because sometimes it's hard to admit that something's wrong. If you have that gut feeling and you're curious, early intervention can literally change your life and change your child's life. So we are such firm believers in it.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah,
What's the hurt?
there's no hurt.
There's no downfall.
There's really none, like other than your pride being like, oh, my kid isn't as smart as the next door neighbor's kid. It's like,
Which,
well, boo,
who
like
cares?
who cares? That's
Yeah.
So yeah.
Takes a village.
If you have
right?
any questions on like the early intervention, if you're like, okay, where do I start? Literally go on Google and type in early intervention for, and then type in your state. And I'm telling you, there will be a phone number, and just call. The hardest part is to call the phone number just the very first time. And after that, like they are such a well-oiled machine, and they know exactly where to go, where to tell you to go, who to talk to. They know. And so really, there is no downside.
Mm-hmm. Do it.
It's life-changing.
Do it.
I think that kind of finishes our podcast.
Yeah.
today.
You should also, like, if they want to see more, like, we can try to post some videos, but you've got a bubble on your
I have
Instagram
a highlight
page,
bubble
right?
on Meet Everly Joe, and it's called Big Bro, and it's because he was the big brother to Everly when I started that Instagram page. So go look at that
There's
bubble and
some
that,
oldies but some goodies
some
on there.
oldies but goodies, some cute gibberish of urban talking. It's like the freaking cutest thing ever.
Maybe we'll post a few to the page.
Sure. And that's all. And thank you guys for listening. Please leave us a review. We appreciate those reviews so much, and they help our podcast a lot. So if you can take a couple minutes out of your day to write us a review, that would be great.
Share it. Share the
it
show.
with your friends.
If it hits home with someone you know, then
Especially
let them know.
this episode about, kids needing some early intervention or extra help. Share it with those people that you think might take it and appreciate it. We know it's a sensitive subject for sure, but
Yep.
it's all out of love, and we have been there. We've walked in those shoes, and it's so hard, and your feelings are valid. So
See ya.
see you later, alligators.
Have a great weekend.